أصحاب السعادة والحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يشرفني أن أشارك في هذه القمة الدولية للتعليم، وأتقدم بخالص الشكر والتقدير إلى صاحب السمو الشيخ سلطان ابن محمد القاسمي على جهوده في دعم التعليم والبحث العلمي. It has been observed that most Indian students in my school find some difficulties when doing a reading skill. So the question is how to raise an awareness of such reading practice. First of all, I like to introduce a good theory and practice that I depend on, from which I get from neuroscience when I doing my BGDE in Sharjah Education Academy. So the first step is that to prepare the students first to such an activity, and by making sure they are preparing well to get the knowledge. So I have to use some activities that is not normally done according to the neuroscience. So I started with making them happy and feel engaged before I began the lesson. So I depend on some music and some songs. Some of them are Arabic, some of them is not Arabic. Which is Arabic? It started with telling them every day at the beginning of the lesson is to raise an awareness by Arabic phonics and Arabic letters. So I started usually the same day, every day, by introducing Arabic letters song. All they are highly engaged, even those who are low achievers and dislike even to watch or listen. So all the students are standing up, doing the song, and preparing well and feeling happy before introducing the lesson. So this is a starting point, should be there, I think, before every class is started. The other point is that sometimes the class is not started on first period. Maybe it is second period, third period. Students will get some tiredness. So at that time, we have to go through a song that activates the brain, such as a song for mind break. Whenever I do mind break song, they are highly interested. They are all standing up. They are all singing. They are all dancing. And then they are preparing well to get the knowledge. So most of the difficulties or challenges that are faced by those students, as I have seen, it is to pronounce the letter correctly and to understand the basic or the sentence correctly. So this is the main source of difficulties I found, is how to say the words first correctly, and then to understand any piece of Arabic correctly. So I start by gradually by introducing some song for letters. This is to make awareness or to raise awareness of Arabic letters. And then on all these ideas I brought from neuroscience field, then the students are preparing well, and gradually they are starting to feel happy. And this is also, it is called by neuroscience scientists, that students should feel happy. A student should feel relaxed. Students should feel motivated and engaged. So then I started an intervention that takes between 6 and 8 weeks according to the timetable and according to the other situations. The students are shown that repeated reading is the most important strategies to get the student develop a reading skill. one of the most strategies that is used, and it has been graded high when they are using it, is repeated expressive reading. In such repeated expressive reading, or they are sharing in such an activity. For example, low achievers, they use to draw the picture of the words that reflecting the ideas. Other high achiever, they read the lesson or they read the words, and then other are helping to explain the words in another language. Okay, using their body language, using all facilities that is there. So accordingly and gradually, the students are showing improvement in reading skill through different use of repeated reading. I call it expressive repeated reading, and then raise high awareness of phonics. One of the scientists, such as yes, here we have this some non-native speakers. This is to show awareness of some letters, and also this is one of the most good series that is showing phonics. And now we have to go. Yeah, this is the heading of the research that I do, improving Arabic reading fluency of 5th grade students, exploring key strategies for Arabic reading fluency. It is argued that through different scientists that repeated reading is the best strategies to be followed. Sorry, I wouldn't go every details because time is consuming, but I highlight the most important point that I use. One of the most important points is to follow is letter recognition. To improve students' accurate recognition of Arabic letters to build a strong foundational base that is most likely to be done through singing songs. Why usually I use singing songs? Because singing songs has been noticed that it is liked by most of students in the class. Even the low achievers who dislike, they are standing up, they do the song that's showing Arabic letters. So first of all, we have to make the student make full awareness of Arabic phonics, and then comprehension skills that enhance student ability to understand and interpret Arabic reading text accurately. In this field, particularly, as I told, I use expressive reading skill. Students are using their body language. They show and they use pictures. All these are cooperative job. It's not done by only one student. They are sharing. One of them, for example, will draw the picture of the words. One of them showing the body language of the words. And then one of them is reading it. And every time, and then I make sure what is the meaning so they know, and they do in translating to other language in order to be sure they get full understanding of the meaning. Implement and evaluate modern instructional strategies that could measurably improve reading fluency. Also, one of the most good tool that is used when I gave them an activity that they can do by quizzes, for example. Most students are highly interested in using technologies such as quizzes. When are sitting in their group, which is consisting of 4, usually they do this, and I am managing them, I am monitoring them, and also I have noticed they raise high motivation and highly engaged during this activity. This is the pre-test and post-test. This is the before I use the intervention, and this is after I use the intervention. It is has been noticed that accuracy of saying the words it is increased from 54% to another percent, which is 77%. So, yeah, and comprehension also is shown to be increased while after they do repeated reading. This is shown generally their improvement and success, which is going through a lot of practices for 6 to 8 weeks. As you see here, this is a pie chart in which we have, repeated reading, audiovisual tools. Audiovisual tools, this is which I tell before, this is songs, saying and dancing songs. It is not something bad to make the student singing and dancing in the classroom, by the way. This will make them highly active and highly interested. And this is also will help their brain, as neuroscience tell, that will be highly focused on what will be given. So this is pie chart shows how repeated reading, audiovisual tools such as singing songs are increasing their improvement in Arabic reading. And also teacher feedback. When they are telling or when they are doing reading in the classroom, immediately I correct them. If they say something wrong, I tell them from the beginning, no problem. We come here to study. We come here to improve ourselves. So they are highly waiting for my feedback, and they didn't feel ashamed of. So all they are participating, and alhamdulillah, this is showing a very good improvement. So this is the most important strategies that to be used whenever we are doing a reading skill, and this is most of them, which is most important, is repeated reading. Repeated reading should be done accordingly through a specific time, through specific intervals. This is a strategy evaluation. This is how the students, 30% of them prefer listening to native speaker to guide their pronunciation. So the best thing is to give them a model to do such practice at home, because when I look through the questionnaire, they tell that they are preferring this method in order to listen to native speaker. So listening to the native speaker, this is a task should be done also regularly, even at their home. And there are also 70% that most of students spend less than 3 hours per week learning Arabic. So this is also should be added, and then also it is added also through this intervention period, and ask them to read at home a lot of text, then come next day to do it in the classroom. So in this way, indirectly, I make them practice reading at home. 90% student, a majority report feeling not confident at all. Not confident at all when they are practicing reading Arabic text. So also this confidence should be tackled, alhamdulillah, and it is tackled. And I make them read as much as I can in the classroom. And all this can be done and can be improved by doing a reading inside the classroom. The area which is most neglected is to do reading in the classroom, because it is time consuming. It is time consuming. And according to the portion of the syllabus and curriculum, we don't have much time to do such a task. But I think more time should be devoted to practice reading inside the classroom, so they will get immediate feedback from the teacher. This is the intervention period and the mix. When I say mix method design, this is students are divided into 2 groups. The 2 groups, 20 students, in which I use the intervention, which is use the intervention, and it is in this class, and another class which is use this intervention, are highly improved. This is strategies, the most strategies needed in order to overcome difficulties or challenges in reading Arabic, transferring Arabic pedagogy. This is repeated reading. Again and again, I assure this because this strategy is proven to develop metacognitive skills like paraphrasing and summarizing. Also, it is done in the class. It's better to be done in the class, so the teacher will give immediate feedback. Intrinsic motivation. Students should be intrinsically motivated, moving beyond external pressure to build a positive and engaging reading culture. I used to tell them that Arabic is highly recommended in UK, Arabic translators. So they like to go to UK. So this is our building also their motivation and engagement, and they like to study Arabic. Whenever I say a reading test, all the class are sharing. This is one also of the most good strategy. Last time is over. Also, I summarize a lot of things. This is strategies, recommendations. Curriculum design should be tackle the reading skill inside the classroom. Whatever we have time, we have to have time. And when it focus and this is curricular practice. This is to make the reading skill have another time or a special time to be practiced inside the classroom. And we have to, I think, to make a reading skill every day, every week, at least one time. At least one time, there should be a reading test to practice such expressive reading. I skip. Sorry, I will skip. To have another language is to possess a second soul. The master, to master its fluency is to open a door to a way that was once silent. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I have more time. Okay. أيوة ما تعرفيه. This is Salaam alaikum, Mr. Rajiv. She tell who are they? This is teacher in girl section. This is our vice principal. And this is her his wife.
Welcome. I'm Aisha Hussein. Arabic teacher.
What's the name?
Aisha Hussein, Arabic teacher.
Aisha Hussein.
Yeah. Sharjah Indian School, Gubaiba.
أيوة girl section.
How many years you've been working?
5 years.
5 years.
I have experience in other school before Sharjah Indian School.
Nice. Which school? Arabic school?
I started for a short time in Delta School, but I didn't continue. That time I have small kids, and then stay home for a short time. After that, I joined Shua.
Sure.
Radiant. Yeah, Radiant School. I continued there 5 years, then I joined Sharjah Indian School.
Thank you. Thank you for having
No
me.
more, sir.
I say, just help your poor dad. He has a conference tomorrow. You know, Dad, give it to me. I'll use this PowerPoint. 2 minutes, and you're done. Okay. So um, today, a number of us just wanted to showcase some of the work that we all do, along with my colleagues, Sharjah and Johannes Budenstein, uh, to support your schools. So I will be talking about the online PLCs that we have held every 2 weeks, I think, since the end of the COVID era, or maybe I can't even, I don't exactly know when we started, but we started long ago. And it all evolved because we started to meet online. We would go on MS Teams and Zoom, and when we are stuck in our own little living room or bedroom or wherever you are, because we're afraid to get out. And so I thought, how can I reach the most or the largest number of people with just like with a click of a button? Nothing better than an MS Teams. So I developed a schedule of what I would call professional learning communities. And the professional learning community schedule included presentations by different schools in order to share their best practices. So they share, they network, and they explore. In the last year or so, we increased this collaboration. We even, through collaboration with my two colleagues here, we invited schools from the CBSE curriculum schools to be part of this PLC, as well as from the Ministry of Education curriculum schools. And what I would like to share with you is 3 short videos. Each one is about 2 minutes, and they will just talk to you about their experience with these PLCs, something that I think would be useful for you to start at the school level. If you can't get everybody together in face to face, at least that's sort of that kind of a medium can help in the interim until you find the time to bring everybody together. So I will start first with the Pakistan Islamia Secondary School.
Good morning. This is Madiha Azhar, Vice Principal from Pakistan Islamia High Secondary School, Sharjah. Today I would like to highlight the growing PLC culture across schools that SPIA provides a platform that ensures that schools implement the PLC that directly supports teaching quality and student achievement. SPIA facilitates capacity building by assigning improvement advisors who guide schools in planning, coordinating, and sustaining effective PLC practices. This PLC from SPIA, it reaches to us by our school improvement advisor, Dr. Sulaiman Hamdan, through an annual planner and a timeline that is given to us. And Dr. Sulaiman, through his philosophy, his clarity of goals, and his meaningful improvement plan, create an ecosystem among schools where educators learn from each other, they share their unique ideas, and they plan for the development of students. So our school contributed actively in PLC sessions with the theme of biophilic education, which meant to connect students with the nature and to inspire the educators to learn environmental responsibility. Not only the students learned the responsibility, but the teachers as well. The contribution enriched the PLC discussions and provided a practical model that other schools can adapt to promote nature-based learning. At PIHSS, the impact of these PLCs has been highly positive in transforming both our professional culture and the quality of student learning experiences. These PLCs have played a significant role in developing both internal and external culture of our school by strengthening collaboration, communication, and professional unity. If we talk in
Now, going to Sharjah American International School.
It started with a knock on MS Teams. It was an invitation, and the invitation brought all the schools together. From the very first PLC session, we made a conscious decision to contribute meaningfully. Through these PLC sessions, our school contributed by openly sharing our best practices, from strengthening student voice and leadership opportunities to sustainability projects like our greenhouse initiatives, and aligning all our work with a national agenda. We didn't come to compete, we came to collaborate. These sessions were extremely useful because they transformed competition into cooperation. What seemed like once as each school's hidden practice became shared knowledge. Every idea sparkled reflection, and every discussion pushed us to think differently. We didn't necessarily copy every strategy, but every shared experience inspired growth. Most importantly, the PLCs built real connections. They created a progressive learning community where schools support one another, exchange expertise, and transfer ideas into impact. For us, the PLC journey is very simple. We share, we learn, we transfer, and we create impact. And this is, in summary, the power of true collaboration. When schools transform together, we don't just improve education. We shape the future, and the students achieve more. On behalf of Sharjah American International School, I would like to thank Sharjah Private Educational Authority and Dr. Sulaiman Hamdan for granting us and all Sharjah schools the opportunity of being a part of such a great.
Okay. Now we'll go to the American School of Creative Science.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Liz from the American School of Creative Science, and we were one of the schools, the luckiest schools, that we were part of the PLC that Dr. Suleiman started with SPIA and the private Sharjah schools. And honestly, we know how important PLC is, but just to be able to have the middle leaders, senior leaders of all schools be part of this and learn from each other and collaborate is an amazing part. I'm going to have three people who were part of the PLC talk about their experiences and what they gained from that.
The professional learning communities offered by Sharjah Private Education Authority was a great opportunity for us to share best practices with other colleagues and other schools, all American schools in Sharjah. I was honored to present during these PLCs, and I was able to talk about the system that we have in place to monitor teaching and learning in our school. Through the valuable feedback that we received from other schools and other colleagues, we were able to enhance the practices regarding that system. So I believe that having this practice as an annual practice would be very beneficial for all academic leaders in the schools to enhance the practices in Sharjah schools as well.
Our school participated in the Leadership PLC through delivering sessions and participating in impactful discussions. I can recall one of the schools that shared about their STEAM project that's called the Seed Bank. I found those best practices resonate with our school best practices at ASES. The Q&A time was a good time for us as leaders to share best practices and insights about the topics.
I found these PLCs very beneficial because each topic offered a unique opportunity through practical strategies and effective implementation. This has helped me not only as inclusion leader, but also reinforce the school improvement and strengthening the importance of shared responsibility.
Okay. Anyway, so this is, just summarize what we have done throughout the years. I think we will continue with these. Maybe we'll transform part of these PLCs to be face-to-face. Now, my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Now, innovation must have been measurable, contextual alignment to the real student outcome, and not just an initiative. But if innovation improves systems and research, informs us, what about the human core? So, human core of our school. Now, Sharjah will speak about the SEL, social emotional literacy, the core of the human development within our schools through the T2T program that has been initiated in our schools. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is a very important research. And as you can see now, SPIA is not only looking at like the things, the general things that we do in terms of training, talking to schools, consultation. Now we are digging deeper. Why? Because you're getting better. And we have to up our game accordingly. So what we're doing is now digging for the things that have more impact, like social emotional literacy. So this program, it's a pilot program that we're doing with few of the schools, and we selected four curricula. That's the American, the UK, the Indian, and the MOE. So the idea of this program is first to to have a structured approach to teaching social emotional literacy within the schools. And why are we doing that? We are doing that to create, the power of training these children on being resilient. Okay, not only caring about their well-being, because we've been doing that now, and we were talking about the well-being of the students, but just being that it is not enough. What we want to do is like prepare these students to be resilient in terms of life context or even in the educational context where they learn. So the program is identify, first we train these students to identify their emotions, then regulate their feelings, because that would mean they are controlling their behavior, the teacher is happier because the behaviors will controlled, they control their own emotions and behaviors. And the research is showing a lot of benefits from learning that on the impact of their performance in mathematics, in general in education as is. Okay, and then they also will learn. They learn about these feelings, and they learn about each other's feelings. They have more empathy. That means bullying will go down, and the research has proven that bullying went down for the students who are, are being taught how to deal with their emotions. Also, they build positive relationships, whether with their teachers or with their colleagues, and they make responsible decisions. And that's what we want them to do, because they have to make responsible decisions and be accountable for what they do. Okay, I'm going to skip a few slides, but the research is there because we've done a research, and these are the schools that are involved. We have ASPAM from the Indian schools, Khalifa, Al-Hamza, US, Al-Shu'la, private MOE, and International School of Creative Science, totaling 120 students in the study, 8 teachers, and 6 classrooms. Okay, so the idea is we are practicing and implementing a program, and you may ask yourself, why is that important? Why is social emotional literacy important? These are based on the research that is happening now. And one of you may ask, like, okay, so then why are you repeating yourself and then doing the research again? We're doing it in the context of Sharjah culture of our schools, because Sharjah is unique in terms of having so many cultures like embedded in different curricula. And what we want to know, because some families may say like, no, I don't want you to discuss this with my children. I want to do that as a family because I don't want to have anybody's influence on my child. So that could happen. That's why we are trying it and piloting this program in Sharjah. So the reason is that when we teach, these are the outcomes of the research, the initial research that was done worldwide. When we teach emotional vocabulary, when we teach regulation strategies, that the child can use these strategies to regulate their feelings, we can also have a perspective on these feelings. You know, we have children who say like, you know, I'm frustrated when I do these math, you know, problems. So they're using the word frustration. So now they know it's an isolated feeling, and the frustration is causing the fact that they don't like to do this problem. It's not that they don't know math. It's not like they're less smart, like we used to believe in the old days. If you don't know math, you're not smart enough. You see, but that's not the case. Now they are changing and evolving. And then if we do that, then what are we doing? We are shaping their resilience, self-control, social confidence. Now the child has more confidence. Now the research that we've done has a lot of course, I just want to mention that the owner of the intellectual property of toddler to teens, or the program that we do, is Dr. Anne Corwin. She gave a speech on day 1 about social emotional literacy. And this is like in collaboration with her to see how is it going to be implemented in our Sharjah context. Okay, so the study and the data. The data collection, we've collected data from the teachers who were trained on TOT, and other teachers. Maybe some of you have participated in the surveys that we've sent to schools. Okay, so some they were trained and others they were not trained. And we studied, or maybe we collected the data from 2 groups. One group was for comparison, and another group which implemented for impact. And we want to see the difference. So thank you, by the way, for you know, putting up with us, because many of you have filled out these surveys twice already. All right, so we have groups, different groups that each group has. From the context of the survey itself, we collected and categorized the samples into different groups, and the results are like this. Okay, if you have any question about the results and the groups, please ask me. I'll be available after the session. So when we talked about identifying and naming feelings, which is step number 1, is for you to understand what is the feeling that you have. Okay, and by the way, some of the teachers who implemented this, they told me that it changed the way they deal with their children, even their husbands. Yes. Because now they have more empathy with unfortunately, I don't have male teachers who are implementing this. But they would tell you really successful stories about how understanding and having empathy for people who, you know, I have to understand, where does my husband or my child come from? He comes from work, he's probably frustrated, tired, or whatever. So now we are giving excuses to our children and our husbands to feel the way they feel. We identify their feelings and we isolate these feelings, which is helping us building better, making better communication and building better relationship. So for this is the group that had the T2T training, and we found that there's a significant difference between this and the group that had no training whatsoever. The other groups I can share with you if you're interested, but for the time, you know, for the sake of timekeeping, I'm going to skip that. But these groups, they practice some kind of social emotional literacy within their you know, classrooms, but it's not the T2T. Some you will find that are close, like the 6.3. These are not, they're okay, but they're not as good as when you take the training. So we feel that the program is paying off, and we know that it's working in our schools. Another thing that we've measured is like using positive language, because sometimes, you know, I remember when I used to teach, there was a male teacher who, you know, when he talks to the same group of students, they don't like what he says. And he didn't have a good relationship with them. But I had a good relationship. Why? Because when I go and blame them on something, I say, I know you were, you know, brought up in a better way. And I know that you know better than this. So I don't blame them. I don't say that you're not good and you're not doing well enough. No, I would say like you are trained better, but you made a wrong decision. So they respect that better than going and saying like, you know,
what you did was wrong. You didn't give names for the things that they've done. Okay, so using positive language has significantly increased among these two groups, because this group is the group of teachers who are not trained for TOT, but they are using resilience, or they're focusing on the resilience, they're focusing on the right and respectful relationships. So for these two groups, the positive language has increased a lot. Another thing that we've tested is showing empathy, which is one of the most important goals that we seeked in this research. So empathy also had a significant change between the group that was trained on T2T and the group that had no training. And it was good enough for some of the groups who are using methodologies and strategies to implement that within their classrooms. So now we know that it is as important as the other ones. Another one, I know that we're running out of time, but we did also building trusting relationships, whether between their peers or between them and their teachers, and also we showed a significant difference in that too. These are the groups, and these are the other questions that we've asked in our survey, and we have results for. If you're interested, let me know. I can share that with you. And finally, I want to show you the video. That is the testimonial video from the teachers who implemented this program.
I feel that the Wise Guys program has really helped my class learn and adapt to the new emotions. It was challenging to learn 16 emotions and break it down to what they mean, what we feel, what causes them. But as we slowly implemented it, I've seen their vocabulary expand. They're able to use the strategies that we've been learning in class, and it really helped them adapt to other lessons as well.
I think it's very beneficial. The T2T program has been amazing. My classes experience a lot of math anxiety. They're at an age where a lot of them feel like they're not good at mathematics. So it's helped me ease that anxiety. It's taken some time. Obviously with anxiety, you have to implement it over a course of months in order for the T2T program to work. Some of the challenges that I've experienced is the actual implementation of it. It's not always relevant to all mathematics topics. For example, we were just teaching addition and subtraction, the column method. It was very difficult for me to implement it. But I did do emotional check-ins, so I did implement it in very little ways, but it's not always possible to implement it in a large scale during the lesson.
Nice.
But yeah, overall, I think it's an amazing program. It's been extremely beneficial. I've noticed the students that were not expressing themselves have now begun to express themselves. So I've seen a huge improvement, and we haven't been implementing it for many, many months. This has only been a couple of months, and yet I've seen so much improvement. So I definitely think it's been beneficial. Thank you very much.
For sure, I would say there is a positive impact because I teach lots of sections, and this is my section only where we do this activity, this program, SEL program. So when I go to the other class, when I compare with this class where we're doing the SEL program, it's a really, really, really like a big difference. Even with the kids' emotions, their behavior is really getting calm. This is really one of the big, and we are very happy for that. And the behavior, because even if they're quiet, they're giving us the reason why they're quiet. Like one day I was having my lesson, and there's one boy, Mana, is sitting there. So he was quiet. I said, Mana, why are you so quiet? His answer was like, he said, teacher, I'm very disappointed today. I said, okay, why are you so disappointed? He said, teacher, because I didn't get the golden ticket. And you didn't give me a chance to give this golden ticket. Now, like, okay, Mana, let's work a little bit more hard, and inshallah you will win. So this is a really, I can say, a big change.
This is the communication between the teacher and the
kids are, even if they are very hyper, if they're sad, they're coming up with their emotions. They know how to explain. Before they were like really like quiet. They don't know how to express, but now they're sharing. This is a really big change. We're very happy. Thank you so much.
I would like to share with everyone that this is a very special project.
it was something that came to us as a big surprise when SPIA took up this big initiative which had been neglected for a long time. We know emotions are displayed by children, we know emotions are displayed in every day, but then to capture those emotions in little grade ones was something very special. So this opportunity that ASPAM got to be a part of the project was very really close to our heart, and we are thankful to SPIA for giving this opportunity. When we visited the SPIA office for this interaction between other teachers, we found that this project really has the cream of finding out how the children learn from their emotions, how they know how to balance their emotions, and how to move forward with their emotions. We learned that emotions are like waves and they hit you, but at the same time the power decreases. Nice. So this is what we think we can see in the class when the children are a little anxious, and we can use what we've learned and let them identify the emotion, understand how they can manage their emotions, and then work on it and make it better. So for us as a school, we feel this is a great initiative, and we would love to strengthen this in all our classrooms once this project is done and take it across the school. Thank you, SPIA. Thank you so much for involving us, and we are looking forward to learn from you more and more. Thanks a lot.
صراحة أسعدنا مشاركتنا في مشروع SEL تحت إشراف هيئة الشارقة للتعليم الخاص، لأننا نؤمن بأن هؤلاء الأطفال يحتاجوا إلى أن يكون لديهم الذكاء التعاطفي الاجتماعي الذي يمكنهم من مواجهة المواقف المستقبلية، لأنه هذا يؤثر على شخصياتهم. نحن نعدهم ليكونوا جيل المستقبل، الجيل الذي له القدرة على التفاعل مع ما يحيط به، ولكن في نفس الوقت أن يكون ضابطا لنفسه، أن يكون مستعدا لمواجهة أي مشكلة من مشاكل الحياة التي تعترض طريقه.
To show it to everyone. Very nice.
So I hope that you got a glimpse on the impact of teaching social emotional literacy. In conclusion, inshallah, we will present this to SPIA, asking them to maybe we implement this in all schools, and we create a curriculum supplement that works for all curricula. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharjah. And really, if we just had this in our days in school, I think a lot of things in our lives would have been better, different. I mean, not better, different. But we're learning with awareness now. Great thing that we have done, the evidence-based research that guides us, puts us on a pedestal. Where are we going, heading for? With the emotion, with the human development or the social emotion literacy to guide us with resilience. But with the core pillar missing here, as in the governance, transformation can initiate, but what about its sustainability? Now, Mr. Johannes will talk about the governance and how this thing transforms the transformation itself and make it a sustainable thing. Here you go.
So when we go to the literature, governance is something that still needs to be further explored, because they need to be part of an ecosystem in our schools. We have here an ecosystem. Things are happening. Things are changing. And when governance stops being a meeting and becomes part of a disciplined system, things start to change. And we've seen that very clearly over the last few years with our work alongside governors and school leaders in the schools whom we support. So what do we see when the governance moves students' outcomes? There's a clear direction. We know where we are, where we're heading, and how we will get there, with support from our governance. It's also evidence-based monitoring. They use data effectively, collected through systems, procedures that set up through policy in the schools. So data plays a very, very important role. As it plays in classrooms, so does data play an important role through governance to make strategic decisions. And then lastly, an unwavering support for teaching and learning. What they do behind the scenes, support the day-to-day running of the schools effectively. That impacts the learning lives of students and the well-being of everyone, including the teachers, who support it in the schools that they govern. So with change, the pivot is consistent. We found that the pivot is very, very consistent. Now, what do I mean when I say the pivot is consistent? With low impact governance in our schools, it's very clear that initiatives are chased. Initiatives are chased. It's not consistently embedded, but the new next thing are being chased. Also, the focus is on school operations rather than strategic planning. They interfere with the day-to-day running of the school, which is not their place. Also, the schools are micromanaged, because you will find in schools that struggle with governance that our school leaders are indeed interfered with through the owner, who's also the principal sometimes of these schools. And that creates misunderstanding of roles and responsibilities. Also, politically driven. Decisions in these schools are politically driven rather than strategic decisions that's made. That one is the owner's sister, that's the principal's relative, that's teaching a subject in the school. It doesn't work necessarily. Then lastly, reactive decisions and politically driven is very closely related. So we make reactive decisions rather than proactive decisions through strategic planning. That's what we found. Our research also then further led deeper into what is evident in high impact governance. What's happening in these schools when schools are effectively run? What is the characteristics? These schools has a few focused goals, not many goals, but focused goals, data informed. Goals that are well monitored. So they follow up on these goals. And then also strategic policy design. They're part of approving policies, revisiting policies, making sure that these policies are not parent-centered, but student-centered. The decisions in the schools are student-centered decisions that impact their learning at classroom level. Then governance move fast. Also, that strategic policy is then led into accountability measures that are in place. Who's accountable for what they do, how they do it, and how is that monitored by governance? And lastly, strategic resourcing that's involved. How do we use the data where our school is? What resources do we need to move that school and impact students' learning lives? So ultimately, these high impact governance then keeps the school ecosystem focused on what improves student achievement, because ultimately then standard 1 and 3 moves quickly when governance is strong. Let's hear from Mr. Steve McCluckie, Executive Principal of the Australian International School.
Good morning. My name is Steve McCluckie. I'm a very proud Executive Principal of the Australian International School here in Sharjah. Outstanding schools. Outstanding schools have one thing in common, and that is outstanding governance. What exactly is outstanding governance? Well, governance is about the leadership of the school. We all know it's multifaceted, but some important elements of that. And number one is the school board. Well, what's the role of the school board? Well, the school board is designed to be future orientated. It looks at the future direction of the school. Where do we want to be in 4 years' time? It's important to know that this is where we're going, but also how we're going to get there. Once done, a strategic plan is drafted up, which keeps everyone accountable for the future of our school. One thing that school boards don't get involved in is the day-to-day operations of the school. That's up to the executive principal and also the school leadership team to make sure that each and every day that the school is functioning and operating in the right way. School boards look at student outcomes. They're very much data-driven, but they have an appreciation and an understanding of what it takes to have success. Also a part of that is the financial needs of the school, the resources, and also the facilities. Good school boards work with the executive principal and the school leadership team like-minded in the right direction. Each hold each other accountable in terms of where we're going and the direction. It's important that at key junctures that we sit down to make sure that we have marks and measures. A great school governance is when everyone works together, everyone understands their roles, and everyone understands their responsibilities. Again, we're all about student outcomes. So together, it is about making sure that students thrive, students achieve, but we also keep our eye on the future, where we're going and where we're headed. Thank you so much.
Very powerful, where we're going and where we're heading. Clear vision, clear goals. So 8 characteristics of effective school boards. If you have not been introduced to this document, please make sure that this ends up in the hands of your governance and school leaders in the school. Because in this document, very, very powerful research behind Chuck Dervarik's and Eileen O'Brien's research. Very powerful back in 2019, but still very relevant. The 8 moves that separate strong boards from weaker ones. What are these 8 moves? And these are the things that we focus on when we support our schools, our governance, to make sure this is very visible in the running of these schools. The vision is clear with goals. Everyone knows what is the vision, with clear goals, how to reach a certain point, and revise the goals where necessary to improve and drive the school improvement. The second one, high expectations for students' learning from governance. Therefore, they need to understand what's the initiatives, what is it that needs to be embedded, how it happens every day in the school. High expectations for that. And then a strong accountability focus. They make sure that the principal, middle leaders, teachers are held accountable as per their role. They understand their role, they know how to support them in their roles, and hold them accountable accordingly. The fourth one is then very, very strong communication. Clear communication channels between governance, school leaders, and middle leaders. They know each other well. Their roles are very clearly defined. They know when they overstep their boundaries or do well, they are praised or monitored and supported to improve and how to improve. And then also data savvy. Our governance need to understand data. What data is, how it is collected for each of the different standards in the framework, how the data is collected, how the data is interpreted, and how the data drives the improvement of the school. Then the sixth one is resource alignment. Now the resource alignment is specific to professional development and human resources. If that is not well aligned, the ecosystem cannot function properly. And that then leaves the school at risk not to make the improvements required for the excellence in education that we set here in Sharjah. And then the seventh one, disciplined partnership between the owners, the governors, and the senior leadership. They are disciplined. They know what to do, how to do it. And when they are not disciplined, they are trained on how to do it properly. The eighth one, engage in continuous learning to build capacity. As we expect our school leaders and middle leaders and teachers to build capacities in teaching and learning practices, there's also an onus on our school governance to build their own capacities, to understand how schools are run, how teachers and middle leaders and senior leaders function, and how to support them to drive and improve the school. We will now listen to Ms. Lini Sivaprasad from the outstanding school in Sharjah, the James Millennium School, talking about her governance.
Governance at GMS is considered outstanding because it demonstrates strategic clarity, rigorous oversight, and measurable impact on student outcomes aligned with national priorities and school vision. Governors provide a clear, forward-looking strategic direction that aligns with the UAE educational priorities, CBSE's expectations, and the school's mission. Decisions are rooted in long-term improvement planning rather than short-term compliance, ensuring sustainable excellence. There is robust monitoring and accountability by way of the GEMS review, monthly evaluations by the Executive Vice President and by the Brand Ambassador, as well as by the Excellence Fellows. Feedback for improvement is given at every stage and is translated into improved classroom teaching and learning and student attainment. School leadership is held accountable for innovations in teaching and learning and well-being outcomes. Governors challenge leadership constructively and look out for evidence-based improvement. They rely on data dashboards, inspection findings, stakeholder surveys, and performance reviews to guide decisions. There is a strong culture of reflective governance where policies are evaluated for effectiveness. Governance ensures full compliance with UAE regulatory expectations, safeguarding standards, and CBSE requirements. Ethical oversight and student welfare are prioritized in all decision making while maintaining a professional partnership with the school leadership, offering both strategic support and rigorous challenge. Leadership is empowered and held accountable for outcomes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I just want to say something. Transformation does not happen by chance, but by intention and by choice. But by what you choose to do after the session today, and what and how you bring up those three pillars that we have all of us seen together outside the classroom. It's our choice, it's our call to make Sharjah excellent in education together. Thank you very much, and thank you, my dear colleagues, for this amazing presentation.
Mr. Ani, we done? Yes.
Who can do
There is a feedback if you can tell
We
them
can ask.
they can scan the QR code.
I'll
and
try. I'll try.
give the feedback.
Excuse me.
Just stand here.
And please,
Yeah.
please use this code to do the feedback on this session.
Okay, here we go.
Everyone in? And 1, 2, 3, governance. 1, 2, 3, governance.
What about SEL?
1, 2, 3, SEL. 1, 2, 3, innovation. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, we are outside to discuss if you want to ask.
I think the other one was up to 5:30.
Yes, yes, I will, definitely.
Shall we get a photo?
Picture. Yes,
Amazing session
and thank you for your active participation and everything. Your session has been buzzing. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming. Yes, thank you for coming. Very nice to have you here. Oh, you want to take?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, the
Good.
other will also take it.
Yes, why not?
Yes.
Try to make me thinner. I don't know how.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Nice change coming and lovely.
Yes, come on. Sir, also you want?
Good.
Sir, will you please join?
Yes. Let's get the leader here.
Somebody to click a photograph.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that you're here.
Always.
Appreciate you
We are
here.
waiting for this session. Come. Daisy, come.
Come, Daisy.
Shanti.